I've been watching a lot of people talking lately about how men are God and that we are earths. Things that make you go, because when we first start out at conception, what came first? The chicken or the egg?
Dear gentlemen, science has a confession. Your life actually began as a female. Well, phenotypically or physically speaking, that is, though some prefer to call this stage gender neutral. As you might know, when two people mate, they each combine half of their genetic information together, 23 chromosomes each. One pair of these chromosomes helps to determine your sex. If you're female, you contain two X chromosomes, one from your mother and one from your father, while males have one X and one Y chromosome. At the moment of conception, you were, of course, male or female based on your genes, but the Y chromosome doesn't kick in right away. In fact, the first 5 to 6 weeks of embryonic development are attributed to the X chromosome alone, and females grow from embryo to fully developed through the influence of only the X chromosome. So what does the Y chromosome do? Once activated, one of the genes on the Y chromosome, known as the SRY gene, has two functions: to inhibit certain features of the X chromosome and to impose through dominance the physiological traits that a male must have. The ovaries descend and become the testes, and the labia fuses to create the scrotum. If you're a male, take a look. Though it's more pronounced in some men than others, you'll likely notice a line or ridge of tissue on the scrotum, which is called the scrotal raphe. The skin of the scrotum and penis are zipped up like a zipper as the layers of cells develop in the embryo. And the male variant of the clitoris? Yep, that's the penis. If the Y chromosome does not become activated for some reason, then the female phenotype or physical appearance will persist in a male. While we're at it, this is also part of the reason males have nipples. The nipples form before the activation of the Y chromosome and SRY gene and thus remain through development and life. But you don't develop breasts. Sorry.
The good old debate. What came first? The chicken or the egg? Or is this subject just nuts? Let's talk about it. So let's start with the scrotal raphe, that line down the Sacagawea. How nature made the scrotal raphe. If you look at a guy's scrotum, you'll see a line or a seam in the center that runs from the bottom to the top. This is called the scrotal raphe. It's where nature zipped up the tissue that would have formed the labia majora, the outer lips, if the fetus had been a girl. In the first weeks after conception, there's no scrotum or labia majora. This is simply tissue called the labioscrotal swellings. Then, at around 11 weeks after conception, the labial scrotal swellings in the male begin to fuse together to form the scrotum. In a female, the labial scrotal swelling remains unfused, and they form the labia majora, or outer lips of the woman's genitals. Genitalias. I just need to redo this part, don't I? Because apparently I can't read for shit. That's okay. So let's try that last part again. Let's see, where the labial scrotal swellings remain unfused and they form the labia majora, or outer lips of the woman's genitals. After it's created, the scrotum in the male fetus sits empty for most of the pregnancy. That's because the testicles are formed in the abdomen. They don't begin to leave the abdomen until 6 months, and they don't reach their final position in the scrotum until about the 8th month. Contrary to how it might seem, the testicles do not drop into the scrotum like marbles into a sack. Instead, they're suspended by a spermatic cord. So, if a man were to lose his scrotum, his testicles would not fall to the floor. They would still be held in place by a spermatic cord. So, guys, go ahead, drop your balls. Drop them to the floor. Drop it like it's hot. Anyway, the seam or raphe that runs up the penis make look like it's make penis make what the shit sickle. What does this say? The seam or the raphe that runs up the penis make look like it's the same as the scrotal raphe, but it's not. Okay, so that error in reading wasn't mine, it was in the article there. Take a close look. Look at the zipper in the illustration above. It starts to zip below the clitoris. That's because the tissue that forms the clitoris, the clitoral hood, and the labial minora are what nature uses to make the penis. Embryologically, the scrotum starts below that tissue. Well, isn't that a interesting sack of stuff to read?